What's up, MFFLs? There is some Klay Thompson trade buzz circulating, and we're going to talk about it here on today's show. Harrison Graham, Jeffrey Cooperstein here with you on Mavericks Today, and the latest report out of Golden State is that there has been no progress on a deal between the Warriors and Klay Thompson. So we thought we would explore the possibility of maybe getting involved in a trade for Klay Thompson, albeit it is obviously unlikely as he has been with Golden State throughout his entire career, Coop.
Yeah, it's interesting. Adrian Wojnarowski reported the other day that there's been zero progress on a deal between the Warriors and Klay Thompson. Obviously, Klay is one of those guys you thought would be a lifer there in Golden State, but it doesn't seem that way. He said they're years and millions apart on their valuation, so it's very possible that Klay heads to 2024 free agency, which kind of sparked the question in my brain, like, is Klay available in a trade? I'm not sure he's going to be available in a trade, but they don't want to lose him for nothing, so it's possible he does head to free agency, and maybe some team takes advantage.
Yeah, this could be one of those deals where, like, say you get to Christmas, January, maybe Klay's having a disappointing year, maybe the Warriors aren't where they want to be, and they just decide, you know what, let's just go ahead and trade Klay while there's some value there and we can get something back. Obviously, I don't think he's getting traded before the start of the season, but look, Klay Thompson's skill set, if you know he's healthy, is something that the Mavs would really like to have. A guy who can space the floor, shoot the three, play defense. The problem is, Coop, is he's not washed, but he's definitely not at the peak of his powers either. Like, the amount of injuries that he has suffered for those few years, I think have definitely caught up to him a bit, and he's not, nearly the athletic profile that he once was.
For sure, yeah. He's been dealing with those injuries. He had the torn Achilles and the torn ACL. That's more or less kept him at not 100% for the last 4 seasons. So he's just now kind of getting back to fully healthy, but now that he's older, he's not what he once was. Still a very good player, but probably not the elite two-way player that he once was when he was probably a top 5 defensive guard in the NBA and the second best shooter in the league behind his teammate Steph Curry.
Yeah, look, I think he's still an adequate defender and still a very good shooter, but he's not, going out there and stopping other people's best players at this point in his career. So is he a player I'd be open to potentially? Yeah, like I wouldn't be uninterested, but is he a guy that I'm like, oh man, like I'm doing whatever it takes to make him my number 3 next to Luka and Kyrie? That's not really where he's at this point in his career, in my opinion. So we'll ask you guys, should the Mavericks make a trade for Klay Thompson? Type Y for yes, type in for no. I guess if the value got pretty cheap, I'd be interested, but we'll explore some ideas in a second. So let us know in the comments, because coming up we will explore some trade ideas and just see what that could potentially look like from the Mavericks standpoint of things. But first, I want to tell you guys about our sponsor on today's show. That is Prize Picks. We've been telling you guys about Prize Picks for a few weeks now. It's the best daily fantasy sports app on the planet, because what they do is they keep it simple, they keep it easy. You guys can sign up today at prizepicks.com/CLNS and use code CLNS to get a deposit match up to $100. The way Prize Picks works is simple. You pick 2 to 6 players, and if they will go for more or less than their projections, that can be their stats in an individual game, or in this case, with our season-long entry I've made here, season-long stats. Luka Doncic, more than on the points. Kyrie Irving, less than on his points projections with Prize Picks. I feel good about this one. Pick 2 is the chance to win 3 times your money, so $10 to win 30, 20 to win 60. You can win up to 25 times your money on any given entry if you do a 6-player entry. So go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use code CLNS. You'll get that deposit match. You're not going up against pros, sharks, other players. It's just you against the stat projections with Prize Picks. So get started today. prizepicks.com/CLNS, code CLNS. All right, you look at this first trade idea we've got for you guys. Klay Thompson for Tim Hardaway Jr., Richaun Holmes, and Josh Green.
Now, this is simply just to make the money work. There would obviously be draft compensation involved, but the Mavericks really are limited in what they could offer for Klay Thompson simply just because of their assets.
And I'll be honest, I wouldn't there might be some packages where I'd offer a first, but I'm not offering more than 1 first in any deal for Klay for where he's at this point in his career.
I agree. Yeah, I fully agree. I mean, like I said, I would say over the hill is the correct word. I still think he has a lot of gas left in the tank, and he's a good player. Yeah. But, I mean, I'm not offering more than 1 first.
Because if you trade for him, you're going to have to pay him. probably what he wants, which is probably going to be like $40 million a year, I would guess, maybe 35.
Yeah, I bet he wants somewhere in the range of. I bet he wants 4 years at $40 million a year is my guess, and I'm not paying him that.
Yeah, that's just. I don't know how I feel about that one, to be honest.
So the money matches up with that one, and it also matches up with this one, where you'd be sending Maxi, Kleber, and Seth Curry to the Warriors, finally teaming up Seth and Steph together. Now, maybe that's something that interests Steph in the Warriors, along with that draft compensation again, but I'm just not sure, man.
Yeah, look, I just don't see Golden State trading Klay. Like, I think if anything, look, if it doesn't work out, then he'll just walk in free. I just can't see a scenario. Now, the one reason I wouldn't completely dismiss it is Bob Myers is not there anymore. So
he is not.
So we don't know what Mike Dunleavy Jr. is going to do in general as a general manager. Like, he's clearly, you would think, not as emotionally attached to this type of situation. So,
but maybe his first move as the executive of the Golden State Warriors is to trade Klay Thompson.
Maybe. That's kind of my point of, like, it's a wild card situation. Like, Bob Myers, no chance he'd trade Klay Thompson. Mike Dunleavy?
You just don't know.
I give it a 5% chance. I mean, look, if he's not having a great year, if there's friction between the two parties, maybe he does trade a Klay Thompson. We just have to wait and see. But which trade idea do you guys think is better? Type 1 for the first one, which was this one right here, Hardaway, Holmes, and Green. Or if you think it's Hardaway, Curry, and Kleber, type 2. Let us know in the comments which trade idea you guys like better.
I think at the end of the day, Klay isn't a necessary player for the Mavericks. We've been beating this dead horse, but the Mavericks need a big man. They don't need a shooting guard.
Yeah.
Klay is obviously a damn good player, but I don't think at the end of the day that the Mavericks need Klay Thompson in order to be a playoff contender.
Yeah, I think, look, your biggest need is clearly a big. I think you could benefit from another wing, but I would want a bigger wing than Klay Thompson. Like, Klay's a 2-3. I'd rather have a 3-4.
Yep.
And, Klay's not playing stretch 4 for anybody. So I think that at the end of the day, based on how this roster is currently constructed, could Klay help? Yeah, like, I'm not, like, diminishing Klay Thompson, but is his skill set, like, at the top of the list of what you need? I don't know. I don't even think it's, like, number 2.
Does he make the Mavs from a 40-win team into a 48-win team? I don't think so.
Yeah, like, you might go from, like, a 500 to slightly above 500 team to like a 45-win team.
Yeah.
Like, maybe you improve your win totals by 3 or 4 games.
Not enough of a needle mover for me.
No. And come playoff time, I don't think he is drastically changing the outlook of your basketball team.
Just some news and notes before we head out here, Harrison. Mark Stein reported that Luka will probably be good to go against San Antonio, so that'll be awesome.
77's in the comments.
We'll be live for that as well, so be sure and join us for that. And then one other thing, kind of Mavs related, Terry Stotts mysteriously leaving Milwaukee after just signing there as an assistant coach. I just saw this come down the wire. Shams Charania reported there was some altercation between him and head coach Adrian Griffin in practice. So interesting.
When I saw him step down, I did wonder. I was like, okay, that's abnormal before the season even starts.
I thought it might have been Damian Lillard related because obviously those two were in Portland together for a long time.
Maybe they couldn't coexist or something like that.
Don't know what the full story is there, but interesting nonetheless. I know Jason Kidd and Terry Stotts have a very close relationship, so something to keep an eye on here if you're a Mavs fan.
Yeah, I don't think bringing him on board a week before the season or a few days before the season is very likely, but maybe he's a future assistant coach target for this franchise. Who knows? But that is something to monitor. That is an interesting storyline. He's Jeffrey Cooperstein. I'm Harrison Graham. 77's in the comment to show Luka some love as he should be ready to rock.
Go.
We're going to be ready to rock for opening night, so be sure to subscribe and join us. We'll, of course, have a couple of videos between now and then as well. Until then, so long.